All right, so as you already know, my name is actually Hustad, but that's not what I want you to remember. Instead, I'd rather you remember me for my apparel label, Nope Wear. As in, nope, this isn't what everyone is wearing. Nope, I will not stand behind fast fashion. And nope, maybe your style isn't as original as you think. Now, my interest is in couture, but what is couture? Well, it's a French word for a garment that is specifically tailored and designed for a client. Who is the client? Well, we all are, because whether you know it or not, we all actively participate in the world of fashion. Whether you just choose to wear sweatpants that day, you are actively participating in how you express yourself to others. And that's okay if you aren't into that sort of stuff, that's understandable, but there is so many people that are. And fashion isn't just what you wear, but it's you. It's also, unfortunately, a fact that fashion is the second highest polluter, and 85% of all textiles end up in a landfill. That's around 21 billion tons a year. Fashion is also the second highest use of water. So what can we do? And I know personally, it's hard to think about the environment, and it's hard to say, oh, I can make a difference. But just like having a recycling bin, little changes to your way you live and the way you consciously consume can make a difference. So here's some things you can do. First, look at what's in your closet. It's probably full. What don't you wear? Then, before going to a recycling bin or a trash can, look at your neighbors. Look at your family. Look at your cousins. Oh, your cousin just had a new kid? Baby clothes, right? There's so many clothes that you don't use that you can give away before you even need to think about throwing it away. And before you go online to shop for something you don't really need, just go to the thrift store. They have so much stuff there, so much. And it's almost guaranteed that something you need is there, right? So just do that. And then there's another way of doing this, and it's really for those that are only inclined to do so. It's repurposing clothes, which is something I'm personally really into. An example of that is right here. Not needing a sewing machine, but just an artist's take on a used bomber jacket. Or sometimes with a sewing machine. You know, fixing clothes, changing them into a bag, turning pants into a bag. All sorts of stuff like that. And it's really fun, and yes, it takes money, and yes, you have to have a lot of time on your hands, but it's really something you should think about. Now, how do you detect fast fashion? Well, it's hard. I've fallen for it multiple times, and it's not always easy to figure it out. But one website I like to use is Trustpilot. It's a third-party website which helps give review on quality and customer service as well as shipping. And my rule of thumb is just if the price is too good to be true, then it's probably too good to be true. Don't think you're getting a deal. You're getting scammed, okay? And look to see what the clothes are made of. Just like your food, just like what you consume, you want to know what you're eating. You want to know what's in your clothes. Because so many of these clothes have hidden fake cotton substitutes. The biggest example is polyester, and it has a sheer and slightly reflective glint on t-shirts and jeans. Now, this is a pressing issue for me personally, which is artists. The artist aspect of the fashion industry. There are so many fast fashion companies that are blatantly knocking off artists who put their time, work, and effort into creating serious, amazing, beautiful, original garments, such as this Maison Margiela Autumn-Winter Season 12. And before we get into this, no, I'm not telling you to go spend $2,000 on a jacket. I'm so far from that. I'm just saying you have to consider the artist part of it. I mean, there's about 10 of these jackets. And this is Fashion Nova, one of the best-known women's fast fashion brands, who, you can see the inspiration. And this is faux leather, right? So this won't decompose into the environment. It's not good for the environment. It's just plastic. It's molded plastic. So no one wants that, right? Another example is Acne Studios screen-printed denim. These are a super original piece. You think that's blue denim? It's actually not. It's white denim that's screen-printed to look blue, which is really creative and a new take on jeans. And this is advertised as jeans, but when I actually looked into the ingredients, they're not even jeans because it's 100% polyester. There's absolutely no cotton in there, and they'll last you about a month max. So you can decide, instead of buying this, go to Walmart, buy a pair of Levi's for this price. It's like, just take these steps and don't steal from artists. Now, Project Funway. For those of you who don't know what Project Funway is, it's a night in Vail that is a fundraiser for public school teachers across the valley. Me personally, it's an experience in a competition to enter and make an avant-garde or just out-of-the-ordinary piece made of something that isn't fabric. Anything but fabric. I personally wanted to go for a leather look. I was inspired by Demna and Vetmonts as long as Balenciaga, but I didn't know how to achieve that without using fabric. So I thought about it, I thought, okay, garbage bags. Kind of look like leather, but they rip easy. You can't really sew with them, and they're not great for the environment as well. So what I did is I made garbage bags that can be reused and they won't break, and you can just keep wearing them. It's an actual piece of clothing. And by doing that, I ironed garbage bags on top of each other to create a real leather satin look. It's an entry-level competition. It's highly competitive, but I actually won, and we raised $500,000 for public school teachers around the valley. So I actually have my model here with me. He's going to come up on stage while we have the video of the runway going on in the background. I can just show you kind of, as you can see, if you turn around, this is not going to rip. It's all interwoven with each other. I even added this buckle in the front right here. So we used a mix of sewing and just ironing. So it was actually really easy because it's just plastic. Using heat was a great advantage to get in those places that a sewing machine couldn't, especially making something like this. It was not easy to fit this under a just hobby sewing machine. This is not industrial level anything. It was just running out of my basement. I did everything I could, and heat guns, irons, so much work. Yeah, and there's a pair of pants as well as a shirt, but I wasn't going to make him get in all of that. But as you can see up here, so yeah. Now, what do I want you to take away? So I'm not telling you you have to become some sort of fashion icon for yourself or, start caring about fashion. But if you're not going to care about fashion, at least care about the environment. So here's a few rules. If the price is too good to be true, it's too good to be true. And look at the ingredients. If it's made out of polyester or other cheap cotton substitutes, you're not getting good clothes for good money. And I don't think I have to say this, but don't buy a $4 t-shirt that's going to last you a month. Just don't do it, right? And try and put yourself in the shoes of artists like myself who spend all their time working and actually making up this stuff. Yeah, just think about that before you buy fast fashion, go to Shein, all that. Don't throw it away. Just at least go to the thrift store. It's like a 10-minute drive. There's multiple in the valley. Just go. It's honestly probably less of a hassle than taking it to a landfill, so just do it. And here's just a suggestion. Don't look like everyone else. Just support local companies or small businesses you see on Instagram that make their clothes in the USA. Almost all brands that do will show it off. Work with me to become a more conscious consumer and help me understand the fashion industry. You have to realize that buying clothes is more of a serious decision than you think, and you really are, just by implementing these rules, can make a big change. So you have a choice before you buy this. Before you buy anything you don't know, you haven't researched, you have a choice. Thank you.